Hi everyone, welcome to another video. In today's video, I am bringing you another video. For my new channel, of course I won't be like rebuilding, recrafting the belts and everything. I do have a couple of other projects I'm working on, but for now, I really want to work on this belt. So I will show you the issues that are on here. So as you can see, for one, coming apart, literally this is peeling off. The shiny pink, as well as going on with it, is it's cracking just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that right there, the little crack. So what I'm gonna do is pretty much recraft this belt. I really like the design of it, of how it has all these like little holes in it. I just don't like the color. I will be changing out the eyelets as well. So the first thing I will be doing is taking out all these eyelets out, because I don't want these silver eyelets. I actually want gold. The buckle is silver as well. It does have paint stained on it as well, but what I will do is I might just end up painting the belt buckle, which is not the ideal thing to do. I don't think I can find a belt buckle that has the two little prongs right here that have the two holes that go in there. If I do, that will be great. That would be my plan B if I end up not finding anything too small on me. It is a small size, it says on the belt here. I hope you guys will enjoy this video, so I'll just speed through this to keep my video short for you guys. Also, the edging here you can kind of see is like coming apart and everything. I'm just gonna take and peel all of this off, and I'm going to take the eyelets out so that I have a pretty decent enough base with this to work with, and we're just gonna speed through it. Like I said again, I won't just be working on belt videos. There will be other big projects. I'm with what's going on in the world, it's kind of hard to get supplies to work on that, so I'm just gonna work with what I have here. We will actually also be using thing back here. This is my stitcher I use for at work, just to fix bags up or any other stuff, to do patchwork, and I'm like already peeling it off. But that is what we're going to do. I'm also going to take off this buckle here and maybe try and get the edging right here off and see if that will come off. If it's not, that's fine, that's no big deal. But those are my two steps as of right now, to take the eyelets out, the buckle, and as well as peel off this pink that is literally just coming off. So I'm just gonna speed through that to keep this video short, because my last video was 25 minutes long. So what I will be using to take the eyelets out is this little nifty tool, and it's just easily, it comes up, just kind of force it out. These aren't really hammered in all too well into the belt, so they'll come out pretty easily. I will be replacing later on with these gold ones. They just look nice. You're probably wondering as to how am I going to put so many eyelets on this belt, but I will be using a press, a little press that presses the eyelets in for me. So that's what I'm going to do. But yeah, you can see that they're just coming off easily, as well as this little thin film right here. Literally peel it up. But anyways, I'm gonna speed through this part so that you just don't hear me rambling. You can kind of see that now the belt is falling apart. So what I'm gonna do is taking off this pink right here and gluing it together, and as well as taking this buckle off. I did want to show you guys how I take it off. I do have this little tool right here. You can also use a razor blade, but I use those for like really big projects, like if I'm changing a liner from a bag. I just kind of go through in here and just kind of rip that threading. The threading is pink too. I'm probably gonna choose a different color that will match the design that I want to do for this belt. Here's the little belt loop. I will also be changing the color on, but if I find some gold threading, that would honestly look really cool. If it's something difficult like that, I will go in with a razor blade. Razor blades are probably easier and most people use them. See, you can just slide it through. I'm just always paranoid that it will cut the leather, so I always go with the little tool that's here. You can kind of see that the belt is all pink from when they created this belt, so I'm gonna have to take some thinner to it and get rid of that pink on there. We took that out. I would shorten it, like I said, if it was big on me, but since it's already like too light and too small on me, I'm just gonna keep it as is. And if I don't find a belt buckle that is gold, paint this gold, no big deal. It is a very damaged belt, and I know some of you guys may be asking, why am I trying to rebuild this belt when it's already literally falling apart? But the reason why is because I want to show you guys that you can make a belt into something interesting than it used to be. So this is going to be a really fun project. I'm just going to speed through it again, like I said, and I will get back to you guys. Okay, so I finally took the eyelets out and the little thin pink layer that was on there. As you can see, I still have it on the little loop right here. And as I was taking it off, I ended up taking off the other half of the belt. So what I'm gonna have to do is pretty much glue this back together. I do use glue cement. This is the type of glue that we always use. My brother used this for shoe repair and everything, and I also use it on some things. This isn't like super glue or anything. If anything, using super glue on something like this that goes around somebody's waist and that needs to be flexible, you do not want to use super glue because that will just make it crack even more. This is the Jet Set glue. It's kind of liquidy here, as you can tell, but I'm gonna put a layer on of it on one side of the belt, have it sit there for like a couple of minutes so it gets tacky, and then after I'm done with that, I will stick the two pieces together using these clamps. I do use small clamps because I do work with a lot of small areas that need to be glued up, so that is what I'm going to do. I will probably show you guys what I will do. I will be using this marble plate I have here so that I don't get the table all glued. As hell, I always use it to glue everything. As well, we'll be using these instead. They're metal weights. I usually use them on really flat, big surfaces that need to be glued down, and you do need to add some kind of weight to it. These clamps, I do use it if it's a small area. I was thinking of going with the C-clamp route, but I think I'm just gonna try and glue the whole entire section by section, like big sections. There are still some of those little pink areas in there. We'll take care of those later. I just finished gluing it together. It looks a little bit messy, but what we're gonna do is I have this little rubber piece. We use it to take the glue off. And literally, well, that's smudging it, but sometimes we use our fingers to take off the excess glue. Since it's still just a little bit wet, it is spreading. As you can tell, it is taking that glue off. I'm gonna quickly clean it up and then start painting the belt, because I don't need to use any deglazer because I did take that layer off, so it's just painting it and then putting on the finisher for it. But for now, we're just gonna take that extra glue off so that it doesn't end up being in our way. I won't be painting the black area back here. It will just be mainly this top part here, because the black, I mean, you don't really notice it, so it's just gonna stay like that for now. So I finished taking off the excess glue as much as I possibly could from like the back and the front, as well as took off the little edging, pink edging here all around so that it has an even coat of the other edging that I will be using on this. So the colors that I will be doing is the navy blue right here and metallic gold. So I might end up painting this gold and then the rest of this blue. It's a very simple color, but I feel like it would turn out 10 times better than being pink. So, and I will probably have to do a couple of coats. It's gonna be kind of tricky because in here there is a small paintbrush like so. So I would have to use a bigger paintbrush for this, but I already got paint on me, which is wonderful. It might be a simple design, but the outcome will turn out be great. Yeah, I will end up swapping this out so that I have another little panel that I will be painting on. This is my gluing panel. As you can see, there's just a bunch of glue on here and everything, but I also have a panel that I use to paint on, so I will be using that. And I hope you guys enjoy the little background. We did move our shop, so I have another location kind of where my area is, of which I have my stitch machine here, another one over there, and just a bunch of tools and everything around me. Maybe I'll give you a tour of where I work. I don't know, we'll see. I got my paint water. I had to label it paint water because so nobody throws out a good cup for water. I have all my pieces here. Here's my little board thingy, whatever you want to call it. And I will be probably using this paintbrush. Where's the camera? There it is. Hello! This paintbrush in order to paint this belt, as well as the little loop thing. I should probably go over it with some deglazer, but I'm gonna try without it since I got film off of it. But we're gonna go on with painting this and see how it looks. This is the gold one. I'm just gonna use the paintbrush that they have in here. I actually kind of want to try the deglazer. It is a little bit, you can see the pink kind of coming through. Not so much on the camera, but like in person, there's just a lot of pink coming through. What I will probably try and do is use some thinner. Let me go get that. Give me 1 second. Where is the thinner? Hello? There's a little bit of thinner in here. We're gonna try this out. Feel like we should have gone the thinner route because it automatically takes it off. and that is what we need. I don't know if it's noticeable on the camera. I will show it on my face camera. As you can tell, it like came off. So I think I'm gonna do that right now and then paint it. That is a smarter way to do it. I thought I was gonna go the easy route and not use thinner. But you know what? Always use deglazer or something to take that paint off. I don't know where the deglazer is. Like I said, we just moved. So I am using that. It's not really thinner necessarily. It's something else, but I got used to calling it thinner, so I'm just sticking with it. I will speed through this process and then I will go on to painting this again, the little loop here in gold. So I will see you in like a couple of seconds because we'll see a little speed through, okay? So now that I used the thinner, it looks a lot better. Now, we're gonna try and repaint this little thing right here and see how it looks. Yeah, that looks like a lot better than it was. I'm gonna do a really thin layer. There is some pink here in the back area, but you know what? That is okay because nobody will see it anyways. You want an even coat, and it's better to do a thin layer because if you end up putting a really thick layer on there, then it's just gonna turn out uneven. So you just want to start out with layering a thin layer and then just building the color up with thin layers so that you get even coats and it turns out well. That is my thin layer. You can still see the white, of course, but like I said, if you start building it up little by little, it will eventually cover the whole thing. I'm gonna start painting this belt. I got a little container here with a little lid. You can get these at the dollar store. So what I'm gonna do, dump a good amount. I think these two colors would go together. I love navy blue and gold. They go really well together. So I'm gonna have my big brush here. I am excited with this. This is gonna look great. I'm trying not to get paint on my fingers. That is what I'm gonna do for today. Tomorrow I will be back to add more layers onto here. Stay tuned for that. I'm just gonna speed through this part. It's the next day. I ended up doing 2 coats on this belt yesterday because it actually dried pretty quickly. And then I just let it sit there for a little bit. I still have to do a second coat on this one. I did kind of forget about this one. So I'm gonna do 2 to 3 more coats on the little belt loop. And then I think I'm just gonna do 1 more coat on the belt itself because it actually looks really good. I don't know if you guys can notice, but that's the second coat and it already does a really good job of covering this. Just to play it safe, I will do a 3rd coat. And by the way, I am using Angelus paints. They are acrylic. I can speak today. They are acrylic based. They're mainly for leather. This acrylic is very flexible and everything, rather than actual acrylic. It comes in these little containers here, as you can see. I use these, but I'm gonna speed through this again and I will get back to you guys after I'm done. Okay, So I did my third coat. I just have it on my machine drying. I did a third coat on the belt loop. I think I will have to do a fourth coat on that one. Now, as that's drying and I'm waiting for the belt loop to dry to put on the third coat, I think I will paint this gold as well because I could not find, I looked online, I could not find a belt buckle that was like this in this size. So plan B, I'm gonna strip the pink from it and put the metallic gold acrylic paint on it. It's not ideal to put any paint or anything on metal because it will come off, as you can tell with the pink that's on here. I'm assuming the whole belt was pink and that paint just decided to come off. I'll still try my best to keep that gold on there. So I'm going to grab my thinner that paint off. Pink is coming off, but it's really hard to take it off. So ideally, if you are rebuilding or recrafting a belt or anything that's metal, you do not want to put paint on it because it will scratch off. So you'd want to get, like you were doing my project, or if I was doing this for a customer, I'd get a belt buckle that is actually gold, just so that that gold doesn't come off or anything. For the purpose of just this video in general, I'm just gonna paint it gold, but that is the ideal thing that you want to do. Jeez, this stuff is like on there. I have an idea. So you may be wondering what is in here. So it looks kind of disturbing, but this is thinner. I had to use this thinner for a bag I was dyeing, so I'm just gonna put that in there. I mean, it's thinner. It's just black because, like I said, I had to put chains in this bag to get that black dye off those chains because the previous person who did it, they didn't take the chains off the bag, and so it got covered in black dye. So I just put it in there, had it sit there for a little bit. While we're just letting that kind of do its thing, I will do another coat. The reason why I'm putting 4 coats with the gold and not the navy blue on the belt, because I only did 3 coats, is because since this gold is much lighter than the navy blue, it's easier to see through. Okay, and you'd want to wear gloves. How did okay, I'm here. If my hand gets stuck in here, I don't know what I'm gonna do. There we go. I got it out. I'm gonna grab a rag and just wipe those areas down. There are some areas that are still pink. Yeah, you want to use the thinner in a ventilated area. That's just not gonna be good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna try and cover it with gold. Wish me luck. Alright, so this is done drying. So I did a couple of coats of the belt buckle. I do have to do a couple of coats on it, and I'd have to do the other side as well. But what I'm gonna do now is I have this little roller. I'll be doing the edges on this belt. So you can kind of see, right, kind of. Yeah, you can kind of see that it's still pink on it and everything. And I didn't do the edgings because I will be using this right here. This is edge paint for belts or even bags. This is navy blue. I was thinking of using black, but I decided against it and to just use navy blue. I'm going to take this, dip it in there, kind of clean off that axis, and then I'm just gonna roll it. That is pretty much all you do in order to create an edging for the belt. And this will also help kind of secure the belt so that it doesn't end up ripping again or like falling apart. I'm just gonna continue that all around the whole belt until I get that edging on there. So I will see you back in a second. Hello. So I changed spots. Now I'm gonna put the eyelets into the belt. As you see, I already tested one out. It just kind of squishes it in there. But I will be using this screen press right here for that. I'll be using the gold eyelet. So the way this works is you put in eyelet in like so. So this one I need to press. As you can see, it's not pressed. I face the top of the belt down, and then there's like a little pin that goes in between the eyelet hole, and you just press it down firmly, and that is how you put an eyelet in. So I got two in. We're gonna do the whole belt for this. So I will speed through this part. Okay, so I got the eyelets all on. As you can see, looks 10 times better than those pinky silver ones. I did forget one step, which was to put the acrylic finisher on before I put in the eyelet. That was my mistake, so that's just great that I forgot to do that. But I will still do that anyways with the eyelets on. If anything, it will help with the coating of the eyelets as well, because it is covered in a gold kind of finish on it. So what this does is it helps keep the paint on the belt as long as possible. It just kind of gives it more protection in that sense. I will also be putting it on the belt buckle, trying to save that color on the buckle. Like I said, it's not the ideal thing to do. I'm finally finished. I put the finisher on. I had this done and dried. So we have the belt buckle on, and then we're just going to get the belt loop in through here. This is how it will look like. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take some super glue. I don't have my upper camera on because I'll be going to my stitch machine. Get like a dab. Excuse you. Get off. Get like a dab of super glue. You don't want too much. So that kind of helps it stay when I am stitching it. So here is my stitcher, my little baby. I have navy blue thread in there, so I'm gonna use that to stitch this down, and I'm gonna start with where the buckle is because that is much easier. Sorry you see my body more than that. I just don't know where to put the camera, so I'm not that fat. And then of course cut the threading because you don't want threading. Gonna lift that. Put that through about, let's say here. You got yourself a belt. So that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching and seeing how I did this from a bright pink colored belt to a navy blue, more sophisticated belt for this. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.